Hello, welcome back. Right now with the stay-at-home order, many of us are feeling like we've had our choices taken away, and there's kind of a bit of a loss of control. But we know that though we might be feeling anxious or confused, frustrated or bored, that we have this thing called a growth mindset, which means that we are capable of growing our skills, increasing our knowledge, and learning new things or developing our abilities. One of the things that this stay-at-home order has given us is more time at home and maybe some time to grow some of those abilities that we didn't feel like we had time for before. So what I want you to do today is think about maybe setting a goal for doing something new for yourself. Take an idea or an interest and then make a plan to make it happen. And I'll show you just how I did that. Growth mindset reminds us that our brains are not fixed. So that does mean that we have the ability to grow and change and put into practice determination and grit. When working toward or achieving a goal, we can apply whatever we learn in that situation to future situations. I want to start by talking about 4 steps that are really important to helping you reach your goal. The first one is to kind of decide on a goal, but then to make sure that you write it down. Writing it down is really important. Scientists have actually studied this, and there's a 33 to 42% chance that you'll actually achieve your goal just by writing it down. I want you to be able to come up with an idea to grow a talent, skill, explore an interest. And I have some sheets from a website called the Big Life Journal, which really focuses in on that growth mindset idea to help us get a jump start on how we could do that. So we're going to talk about writing goals down, breaking those goals down into steps that are manageable to help us reach those goals. Plan ways that we can grow our skill over time and facing obstacles and overcoming those obstacles that might stand in our way, as well as then reviewing and reflecting. So for me, the first part that's kind of challenging is to try and decide on what I want to do as my goal. So here's a first sheet that gives us a little bit of clue. This idea is that there's 3 stars and a wish. So you come up with 3 stars or things that you already do well and use those to maybe help prompt you to decide something that you wish you were better at. This example shows I'm a star at playing the piano, at writing poems, and being a good friend. My wish might be how to learn to skateboard. Get to another idea here. Another way that you could help yourself decide on a goal is to ask yourself some fun questions. What if you found a genie? What would you wish for? What would you do if you won the lottery? Or if you had a superpower, how would you use it? Another thing you might do in developing your goal is to think about things that you're interested in or already good at. This interest map started with someone who knew they were good at drawing. And then they thought, how can I use drawing to grow my skills? Maybe I could do a storyboard or do some medical or natural illustrations. Maybe I could do some film or video editing, practice some graphic design, maybe make some sort of fashion designs. Maybe I want to be an illustrator, take that drawing and illustrate maybe a comic book, a novel, or another series that I might write. This one pertains more to maybe how to choose a job. So this person talked about giving advice, and then maybe they would want to be someone who dealt with conversations, maybe a business administrator, or maybe they want to be a counselor or a teacher, and how that you can grow goals right now that we're setting as students into lifelong goals as an adult. There are lots of different things. You might decide to learn to improve on an instrument or to learn a new instrument. Maybe if you're musical, you want to write a song or record or perform a song. You might decide you want to learn or create another language, research a topic of interest and then build a web page or a PowerPoint around that. Ride a bike, unicycle, or skateboard. Maybe you have more than one idea, and so this is a way that you could actually record your idea. This person had an art idea. They wanted to draw. They wanted to do a soccer or an outside goal. They wanted a reading goal, a goal that focused on friends, one that focused on helping family, and one that focused on music. So they took lots of goals and included them all on their poster. Other goals you might consider are just to learn a card game or a magic trick. Maybe find different ways to brighten someone else's day. Make a book, a comic, a graphic novel. Find a pen pal that you write back and forth to. Maybe you might decide to grow a plant or practice some sort of art that you then share somehow with the community. Maybe it's knitting, sewing, painting, sketching, sculpting, printing, carving, performing, nature, or cooking. Another way to record whatever it is that you set your goal on is to create a visual board. Cut out pictures of your hopes and dreams, maybe paste them on a poster board. Put your board somewhere where you can see it. Maybe you decide to create a goal as a family. And so this one's called a bucket list. And they tell you can gather family paper, markers, and a bucket. Brainstorm and put your goals together. Write them on the bucket list and then hang it somewhere in your house. My family's actually done this. We didn't use a bucket. We just made a list of things we wanted to do over the summer and posted them on our refrigerator. Another way to record your goal is to then do something like this where it looks like a ladder, where you put the different steps of what you're going to work on until you achieve your goal. You might not have made it there yet, but you know that over time and with practice and persistence you can. And we know we've already learned about the power of yet from Miss Barrett and Miss Nielsen. Another way you might record your goal is to do something here where you have action steps. You might have a goal that builds on itself. Maybe my ultimate dream is that I could be a juggler and actually perform a juggling routine. So my first goal might be to try juggling with scarves. Maybe I need to watch some YouTube videos on how that's done. Then my second goal might be to juggle with bean bags. And I might actually this time record myself and then look and see what I need to improve on my technique. And my third goal might be to then juggle with tennis balls. Now, whenever we decide on a goal and we're going to work towards something different or new, there's always going to be some obstacles that we have to face. So I want you, when you're designing your goal, to think about why it's important to you and actually make sure that you record the things that are important about it. Because it's those important reasons why you've chosen your goal that are going to help drive you and give you that perseverance to keep going when things get tough. I have a little bit of inspiration here. What if Thomas Edison gave up on his 9,999th try? Thomas Edison was a famous inventor that we all read about now. And he's the person who invented the light bulb that we still use in our homes today. I know it's evolved over time, but if he would have given up all those years ago, the evolution of the light bulb would be nowhere near where it is today. So, going through all these things, if that idea of failure or challenges is a little bit too much for you, you might want to record your idea this way. It's a whoop it up plan. So I want you to think about your wish or your goal and the outcome. How is that going to make you feel? What's the good part about choosing that goal? And then list out any obstacles that you might have. And then plan for those obstacles ahead of time before they actually occur. If my goal is to learn how to skateboard, And the outcome is that then I can go skateboarding with my friends, we can spend time together and get exercise. I'm gonna have some obstacles. I know I'm gonna be a little bit worried about getting hurt. So if my obstacle is worried about getting hurt, maybe I'm going to get some protective equipment, get some wrist guards, make sure that I'm always wearing my helmet. Another obstacle might be that I fall and get hurt anyways. Well, if I fall and get hurt anyways, my plan might be to take a few days off so that I can heal and then get back to it. Or I may decide to practice in short bursts of 15 to 20 minutes at a time so that my body doesn't get too tired, which makes me more prone to accidents. Go ahead and plan out for those obstacles. Remember, by writing down your goals, you're 42% more likely to be able to actually achieve those goals. I chose a goal for myself. Let me show you. Now you'll know why I'm out on my back porch, because my goal has to do with green tomatoes. My goal is by the end of the summer, I will make Frank Bausch's green tomato relish and share it with others. This is really important to me because it is a memory from when I was younger. And so I want to be able to achieve this. I've been having this hankering for this green tomato relish for years, but we hadn't had the recipe. And so I really needed to do some digging and research to be able to get to the point where I can work on this goal this summer. So first I needed to find the recipe, which luckily arrived in my mailbox last week. Second, I needed to get some tomatoes because it's kind of hard to buy green tomatoes at the grocery store. So I went ahead and I have a couple of tomato plants now that I am tending to. I need to care for these tomatoes, grow them into some hardy plants that will produce, hopefully, some tomatoes that look just like this. I also though need to make a plan. There is a chance that I can't grow enough green tomatoes for the relish myself. So I'm already starting to think about where I might be able to gather some more green tomatoes. Then I'll need to gather the other ingredients to make the relish. And then I want to make sure that I can share it with other people who might appreciate it. Maybe this fall, you'll be able to taste a little bit of my green tomato relish when we're back at school. Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Take an idea. I hope that I can inspire you to take any idea that you have, find a way to turn it into a goal, write it down, break it down into steps. Make sure that you have a plan for any obstacles that might occur. Review and reflect each week as you grow your skills a little bit closer to your ultimate goal. I hope I've inspired you today to grow your abilities in some way that you hadn't thought of before. Until next time, hit the road, Happy Toad.